I want to welcome everyone to the Hamblen County Legislative Body Committee meetings for January 12th, 2016, our first meeting of the year. I'll ask commissioners, make sure you turn your mics on. Before we get into business tonight, I want to make note of one thing. Commissioners, those of you that were in attendance at the commissioner dinner, probably got to meet and listen to the young lady that accompanied the Huntsmans, Hannah Starnes. And if you didn't get a chance to talk to her, she was absolutely a delight. So intelligent, has been to South Korea, is going back to South Korea, plans on med school, and just so, wow. I mean, I was blown away by her. But I'm not going to read this, but I will pass it around. She sent a card to the commissioners, and please, if you can, sometime take a moment to look over it and read it. It's fairly lengthy, so you may take a minute to read it, but very gracious of them, very nice of them.
Where did you speak, Bobby?
I'm sorry?
Where did you say she spoke?
At our commissioner's Christmas dinner.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So she was wonderful, absolutely. We'll now get down to business. We'll start our committee meetings. Our first committee will be the Justice Center Public Safety Committee, and I call on Chairman Tim Horner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I call the Justice Center Public Safety Committee to order. Anyone wishing to address this committee with agenda items only may do so at this time. Seeing none, item 3A, old business, there is none. Item 4A, the Justice Center project update, Jerry Dover, Early Construction.
Hey, good evening. Hope you all had good holidays and Happy New Year. We'll run through some photos here first, just to get a quick overview on a few things. This will be in regards to some of the things we'll be discussing here shortly. That's the Sally port and some of the overhead doors. Seeing the telecommunication intercom type system within the unit was installed recently. Some of the work that we had done outside of the scope of the contractor, we did a change order for. It's getting access from different levels, just showing the completeness of some of those products, some of that work there. Along with that, that wall there at the base of that section there. So all that was completed. I went through that pretty quick. We are presenting a construct and change directive tonight. If we can leave photos up for that, just in regards to this here. These are overhead doors in the Sally port. There's two of them. One of the things we noticed in our walkthrough as temperature started to drop is this system is perforated. All those panels that you see in there, every single one of those lines is a perforated system, letting air flow through. Not sure why that was included in the original specs and design, but as we notice the temperature drops, the gas units or the gas heater systems that are in there are constantly going. And as temperatures dropped even further, we were concerned that it may impact some of the fire suppression systems that were in there. We didn't want them to freeze over. So initially we just had them put visqueen up the plastic walls there to help contain some of that as we have the heaters on, which significantly helped. There was never an issue with any of it freezing. Temperatures seemed to stay, above freezing where all the fire suppression systems were, but we did all this as precautionary on that. So the construction change directive number 3, we wanted to move quickly to get that going before everything is finalized on costs. That's why we're pushing it out as a 50,000 not to exceed number. And that's to replace both of those doors. The initial quote was, I think, $38,000 from the vendor, but there's other costs and fees that are on that. And we did not have time to pull all that together with the contractor and fully vet it. So we wanted to issue it so we get moving quickly on getting this completed. any questions related to that, Mr.
Question.
Commissioner Nixon?
You're saying you want to replace two doors that we've never used because they're freezing?
They're perforated and allowing airflow into that sally port there.
Whose fault is that?
I-
Design of the door
It's not the door issue, it's the coordination of the design sets originally. So we see that more as an error on the architectural design side.
so you want to change the doors for something else?
Yes,
And it's gonna cost what?
not to exceed 50,000.
$50,000 to change two doors that you've never used yet. Something's wrong there, folks. Something's wrong there.
Commissioner Green?
Quick question, you said architecture.
Yes.
So I'm assuming they've got to eat this, not the citizens of Hamblen County?
That is our direction we are moving in, yes.
All right, let me ask another question. Supposing, I've seen billing from our contract attorney. I've never seen or heard a report from our contract attorney. So will this be added to the list, or will they
Yes.
automatically take responsibility and take care of it?
Yeah, it'll be added to that list. So now that we're wrapping up and finalizing any of these changes that are coming in at this point, issues that we've been dealing with for the last significant amount of time, we're wrapping all of that up. I was hoping to have most of that completed by this meeting. That hasn't happened. And I don't see us having everything completed by our next. I'm hoping to have everything completed by then to present where we are between the architect and the contractor. In doing so, that's only a few weeks out. There's still things that we're waiting to get in to evaluate, to finalize all of this. So I would think it may be into the next commissioner meeting, not the one coming up next, but the one after that, that we can actually present where we're at overall. That is our goal.
When do you foresee turning the keys over to the Hamblen County Sheriff's Department, sir?
October 31st of last year we did.
You've done turned the keys over?
Yes.
Okay.
At substantial completion, that was done.
Thank you.
Commissioner Walker?
Couple questions. Have you looked at any other alternatives besides replacing the door? I mean, since this is only going to be in the winter that we're looking at, you know, it affecting the heat, the piping, and all that, could it be a easier factor to do something else? I mean, like an air curtain that would keep their
It'd still be
circulation
a
down?
cost associated to an air
Right,
curtain, because
right.
you'd be bringing power to it and everything else. So there'd still be new equipment and everything else associated to that. My stance, we need to make it whole the way it should be designed.
Right.
And bring in what needs to be there, not make work something that shouldn't have been designed that way,
Right.
if you want my opinion.
Okay. Will we be able to recoup anything off the doors we're
Yeah, that's what we were
taking
discussing.
out?
All that is on the table for negotiations, and yes,
No, I mean,
we see this as a complete error. It's not something that should have been in the plans, that you know, it would have been there, but it was just missed. This is something that's been installed and done and dealt with, and now we've got to go back and replace. We handle that differently at that point, where it's our opinion 100% on the architect at that point with that. It could have just been a slight copy paste in the spec book that didn't get caught, and that's it. And when you look at I know 50,000 seems like a lot, but when you look at the overall on the entire project, the amount of change orders and everything else that we have dealt with on this feels like a lot, but when you look at the percentages, which we will present here shortly, there was just very slight increase overall on the project, percentage-wise. And that's from a well-coordinated set of plans. Yes, there's issues, there's always issues. I have issues on small projects all the way up. But overall, it's been a well-coordinated project. Time-wise, even Blaine Construction has done great strides to help minimize a lot of the costs that could have been done on this project, which we'll present as well. So overall, a successful project. Length of time was longer than we really wanted, but It's a beautiful building. We'd like to see the judges and the sheriff and everybody else occupy this for the next 50 years plus, so. Yes.
I think now's the time to fix this, because if you wait, push this down the road, then we won't be able to come back on them and try to recoup anything. So I think now's the time to fix it while we can.
I agree, and it's energy issues too, so burners are up 100% to try to maintain the temperature in that space, so, and it's gonna be just the difference in the summer. You're gonna have it AC running at a high capacity to try to keep that place cool, so it's gonna be a shifted system, or a better system after they're done.
Commissioner Green?
I noticed, and maybe I misunderstood, I noticed you said 50,000. If memory serves me correctly, when this started out, and thank God I wasn't on this commission when it started, it was supposed to be 75 million. The last total I had was 105.
Overall project is up to that. This, for the contractor, Blaine Construction, they're just over 95 million with construction costs directly.
But that's still an enormous amount of money for Hamblen County citizens to have to bite the bullet on, especially considering we did, and thank God I didn't vote for that either, we did a 25% per $100 value of the property and a wheel tax on top of that. I'm just concerned that our citizens shall be pushed to the point that they can't make it. I'm hearing it all the way around already, and that is my concern. But I would like to see everything that they have to fix fixed at their expense, not at the expense of Hamblen County citizens.
We're in alignment on all of that, absolutely.
Commissioner Horn.
Anyone else?
Commissioner Horn.
Thank you.
To Commissioner Green's
Correct.
point, I'd like to remind everyone, the public especially, after our comments made at about 75 million. When this bid first came in, we were being told that the bids would come in at 68 to 75 million. When the first bid came in, it was 88 million. That's what happened. So when she uses the term 75 million, that was what we had hoped for, but that never happened. When the first bids came in, it was 88 million. We sent it back, if you will, for value engineering. It came back at 92 million, after we even cut corners. So I just want everybody, especially when the comment is made, that I want the public to understand this was not ever a $75 million project. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Harvey?
Yeah, question about the design of the doors, and I'm probably chasing rabbits here, but that you said that's a sally port, so they pull cars in there. Is that just have exhaust to get the fumes out? I mean, maybe that's why those are perforated, to be able to have fumes get out.
No,
No.
yeah, that's not.
Okay.
Okay. Good question.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. My only thing, this one thing I'd like for all the commissioners to think about, right now is the time to do this, because this is going to be an extended period of time. And by that, I'm not saying months, but a week or more. And we have no prisoners in there right now. This is a secure area where they'll be bringing prisoners in to drop them off, to go in the jail. We don't want to be doing this once we get prisoners over there and are using this facility on a regular basis. It's something that, no matter what we do, it needs to be expeditious if we're wanting to move in this. It needs to be completed before we move inmates in my opinion. Thank you, Mr. Warren.
Anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the construction change directive 003 not to exceed $50,000.
Motion.
Have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Commissioners, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dowalter.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Horner. Move down to the Finance Committee. I'll call on Chairman Rodney Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is there any visitors wishing to address this committee at this time on agenda items only? You have 3 minutes.
State your name and address, please.
Joseph Hahn, 1400 Shinbone Road, Russellville, Tennessee. I want to address the 5C contracts. It does not say anything or show any procedure or process that the county has on record at this time. From my research, the state does not give one person the or the mayor or anyone to sign a contract like this. So my question here tonight, is this going to go in front of a committee and let a committee bring the verbiage back to the county and review it? Or are we going to just sit here and see it brought into a vote or a discussion? You make your verbiage up here tonight and vote on it? How's this going to happen? The citizens of Hamblen County has no way of knowing what you're even trying to do here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the committee? Seeing none, we will go to number 3. You got your expenditure reports and monthly checks. Number 4, we have no old business, so we'll move into the new business on 5A, the men's jail to work grant update. Mayor Cutshaw.
Commissioners, I believe it was last month, this commission decided to table renovations to the workhouse to house men's jail to work. After that happened, discussions were made with, or had with McNabb Center about that as far as a plan B and what that might look like in using the $1.5 million grant to begin the men's jail to work program. In that discussion, it was discovered that the $1.5 million grant from the state of Tennessee would not pay for the operation of the entire program, and that it would still take more from our county government to get this program off the ground. That's with a 3-year period. And now as the analysis shows that it would take a significant investment from our county to get this going. My recommendation to you tonight is to rescind this idea of accepting this grant at this time. We all know there's many things in front of us that we need to tackle rather than this. However, a valid program, men's jail to work, would be, as we know, the ladies' women's jail to work program, very successful. But the cost to the county at this time is something that we should set on the back burner. It is my recommendation to this county legislative body that we rescind this grant.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Reed, second by Mr. Richardson. Any discussion?
I'd like to add, my apologies. Quick question, Mr. Mayor. The way I understood this came from a grant.
Yes, ma'am, but the cost, okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I didn't clarify my question, so thank you for your patience. Is the women's under the same grant program, or are the men's under a different one?
It's under a different, this is entire new startup grant that would help us. But our investment as a county would be between $750,000 and $1 million. Okay. That's for a 3-year grant. Okay. That said, it seems out of our purview at this point to take this up when we have unknowns that we need to look at first. Certainly. You know, I'll just mention one of them. Just, you know, the renovation of the sheriff's department is a huge thing that we've had. It was always there as far as that renovation. But it's something we need to look at before we go into a men's jail to work. We've got work to do on our own courthouse. Right here, the historic courthouse has some work, maintenance work that needs to be done. Many things need to be looked at. And that's why I recommend to you that we do not.
Ms. Hale?
Yes, sir, thank you. Could we not model Did we have a grant for the women's program?
That is something that the McNabb Center has procured, and they use our inmates, if you will.
Yes, sir.
And we do supplement them some with our opioid money, okay? However, we do not own that grant.
So, nothing, well, we couldn't kind of model something like that for less with the men. We still need a grant of some kind.
To start up, yes, ma'am, you're talking quite a bit of money.
Yes, sir, that's fine. Thank you.
At some point now, I will say, at some point, it would be fabulous
Yeah.
to get that started. It is a worthy program.
But we've got other issues first.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Move to 2B, change order number 3 with the Hamblen County Health Department of $3,483. Mayor Cutshaw.
Yes, this grant was brought to us. It's actually dated 12/15. It's before you. If you look at your document there, pretty self-explanatory for equipment operator, carpenter, cleanup. It's concrete and rebar. It's some repair work in the floor that was needed. It was actually presented to us before now, but this is the actual change order.
Is this in regard to where the coolers and
Yes.
from the previous place?
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Harwell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Doty. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move to 5C, contract review process and discussion. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, this was brought to our attention requested to put on our calendar. Therefore, we've got it here for discussion. There is no particular verbiage. It's an open floor to see where and what this body would like to do with contracts. So the floor is open. Commissioner Doty and I have talked several times about an idea, and I think he'd be well for him to start.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Thank you. Over the past many years, I've been involved around the commission since the late 90s. That has been the county mayor's prerogative as that. I always felt, and I'm sure our county mayor now felt, that there was supporting verbiage of this because it's been done and done and done and done and done. I know even during the past 7 years, I've heard it a couple of times, and as a kudos to her, Miss Noe calls us out when we do overstep or do things wrong, and I'm sure, you know, this is part of this time. And I don't know what we do when we assume, but I assume that if there was something wrong, then she would have brought it out prior. And like I said, I appreciate her doing it when she does. I do not believe that our county mayor acted maliciously or acted any way other than best faith. He thought that he was doing what was in the purview of the job. And I would like to see this body tonight, one way or the other, extend a vote of good faith towards him that he did not knowingly or maliciously overstep his bounds on this. Furthermore, we need to have a way, especially now with the ever-changing markets, the ups and downs with pricing, that we can act without waiting 2 months for it to come and go before this commission so it can be voted on, because we can lose a lot of money during that time frame. I don't know exactly the verbiage to phrase it as to what I feel that we need, but our county mayor, we need to have trust in him that he can do certain things. I know I've heard it said that this was a unspoken or unwritten, basically, like better way, gratitude given to the county mayor, a privilege that he had, that he could do these things. And, you know, again, I don't think our county mayor acted in any way to deceive us. You know, if you look back, he's not had the privilege of having the long drawn-out training that they give every 4 years when they elect new county mayors, because they've not had that since he's been in. So I would like tonight to see us, first off, extend a vote of good faith towards him, that he did not act in any way trying to refuse or to old-fashioned way, he didn't try to dupe us or citizens of Hamblen County. And I would like to make a motion that we first do that so that we can clear the air on it. And I make that motion.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Huntsman. Any other discussion?
I'd like to comment just briefly. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Okay, what Commissioner Doty has said, it was brought to our attention, TCA code, we did not find that there was any code that gave the mayor any authority to sign contracts outside this body. However, under assumed authority, under assumed duties of the executive officer of the county, which county mayor is, it was assumed that he had some latitude to operate. Therefore, consulting CTAS by phone call, consulting others, including our former county mayors. That's how it's been. It's been operated. And it was under the idea of 1 year or less. I don't know what that had to do with anything. But that said, moving forward, we can change how we operate. I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. But it was under assumed authority as a county mayor having latitude to operate as the chief executive officer to make some daily decisions. And therefore, that's where that came about. As I've said, there's nothing to hide here. I don't have a problem in working with this body on anything. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Commissioner Green?
First question, is this not in regard to the LaBelle contract, out of curiosity?
Ma'am, I see the LaBelle contract as one that it had no monetary value to it at all until it came to this body. I see that one as is benign because it had no monetary value until this body passed that.
That wasn't the question I asked. I apologize. I didn't clarify.
Some reason or another we have a problem communicating. That's why I
Well,
think
evidently
publicly
we
is
do.
the best
That's why
way.
you won't
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
to me unless we're in public, sir.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
First question, when you brought the LaBelle contract in, you said if it was less than a year, you had every bit of the authority. And I don't care to tell
assumed
you, I
authority.
did email Charlie Curtis and ask about it, and his understanding for what he told me, and I'll happily forward each and every one of you commissioners a copy of the email he sent me. I'm sure he's done sent it to Mr. Mayor. But I was told that it's supposed to come to the county commission.
Ma'am, you just
trust-
heard my voice saying to you that you are correct. I just said that, actually.
Thank you.
Thank you for pointing it out, what I just said. Thank you.
Thank you. But we trust, but we verify. We are put in here as gatekeepers to what is spent through the mayor's office. And if they did not think they needed us, they would do away with the commission.
That's not
For
what we
my
said,
part,
ma'am.
I'm not on this committee. I'll have to wait to vote to the final vote on the 22nd. But for my part, it needs to be left to everything comes to the commission for the safety of the citizens of Hamblen County. We have had smart mayors, and we've had some that have got us down to the brink of having to have tax increases and moving funds. And that was before you came in. That's not you. I'll be forthright about that. That's not you, Mr. Mayor, out of respect to you. But we have had that problem in Hamblen County. It was not made obvious, and the new commissioners at that time called for an audit, and that's when it was found. Now, most of you, I'm sure, are not aware of that, but I have a bad habit of going back and checking history. But we need to verify everything. You trust people, but you verify. I don't care what it is. Business is business. But we need to leave it as it stands. Again, I can't vote. I'm not on this committee till it comes to the regular commission. But for my part, you folks need to man up and do what's right.
Mr. Chairman,
Any
if I
other
may-
discussion?
If I may, just clarification, my motion is not to continue just openly, but this is for these simple ones. This is not a vote of confidence saying to continue. That's not what I put out there. It's a vote of good faith that he acted in good faith as to what he knew at the time. Moving forward, we're going to work on the other. This is just for those simple incidents so that the insinuations of wrongdoing and such basically can be overshadowed by what we vote on tonight. That was what my motion is on that.
Thank you, Mr. Doty. Mr. Neesmith?
What emergencies have come up, Thomas, that it couldn't wait till it could be voted on by the commission, without a vote of confidence? What has come up?
It's not been a vote of confidence. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying things happen, prices change. How often does gas price change? Daily, weekly? Housing prices, building prices, market prices for most everything. And if there's something that can happen, in my opinion, that can save us some money, then it needs to be a way that we can do it. Not saying that we're going to. That's not what this motion is. This motion is to, again, is merely to cover what has happened so far, that it was not malicious, that it was not something done that was intent on pulling the wool over someone's eyes. This was something that was done in good faith. Further, then we discuss it as a committee and as a commission as to how to move forward. This is to basically settle what has happened so far so that we can move forward with open eyes.
I think we've got that like in the road department. Barry could spend X number of dollars without going before the commission. And I think Bill had it where he could go up to like 25,000 before he come to the commission. That's what it's been in the past.
We're getting off from what the motion is. We need to address the motion first and then address, how you maybe want to do it, but
I
let's
can't
get the
understand
motion.
Could you speak up a little bit? We're having a hard
I
time.
said we're getting off of the subject of the motion. We need to go back to the motion, clear it up, and then you all can discuss what you want to do. So we have a first and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now, is there anybody that wants to open the floor for discussion on how to do maybe the contracts?
Yes.
Ms. Howe?
Yes, sir, thank you. In some organizations, there's an executive committee that, the door or the window is on sale today and it won't be next week. And maybe there's 50 doors or 50 windows or whatever, and something needs to happen quickly, and I think we all understand that, and maybe we could come up with a mechanism of, okay, here are the people on the committee, we can call them, and maybe we can put it out on, Trish might know how to do that, put it out on the webpage saying, this has come up, the county commission is considering this with an executive committee, and move forward that way. That's just a thought I had. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else?
Executive committee you talking about?
Well, If I
something
may,
comes
sir.
up fast, go to executive, have an executive meeting and discuss it there.
That could do that.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Horner? Notice we get in the way of
Yeah, that is the problem.
that. And then if you have contracts, if you're gonna send all these contracts to the county mayor's office, to the county attorney's office, we're gonna be spending a lot of money with the county attorney. Reviewing a contract that could be over us buying or leasing 3 or 4 copiers for the mayor's office or another department, and we're gonna have to send that straight to the county attorney to get that, approved and brought back to us. There's a lot to look at here, expense-wise. I think the people vote us in as commissioners, and they vote the mayor in. There's got to be some trust somewhere down the line.
Chairman,
Yes.
first I'd like to hear from Chris, the mayor. I'd like to know, what does he think would be an appropriate thing for us to pass for it? Because we don't know. You see it all, Chris, you see it every day, and Bill sees the same thing before he had it. And so I didn't know we never had a problem up until you come bring us up here, but, I'd like to hear from you. What
Yes, sir.
you're looking for.
For this commission to consider, I will yield to this commission. I mean, you guys set the rules. I will yield. However, I will say, again, as assumed authority of the mayor the office of the mayor, chief officer of the county, to have some latitude to operate. I'm not asking for anything different. And what's been done before, like I said, when I talked to the previous mayors, they made decisions. They made decisions constantly of 1 year or less. It was just, I can't tell you. You can go back, and it's in his historical evidence that that's been there. Moving forward, maybe you put a monetary value on a contract. We've got maintenance contracts, we've got service agreements, we've got ankle bracelet contracts, we've got everything coming through the office. How much do y'all want to take up? How much do you want to send to our county attorney? I think there needs to be some latitude here and some common sense as far as how we do this. I don't have a problem. Whatever you guys tell us to do, it needs to be countywide. If we've got a contract. There was one today, came across. It had, it's received money that we've been receiving for years and years and years. It's, what's the name of it, Captain? Retention SRO grant. It's a no-brainer. Does that need to go to the county attorney or come before this body and wait a month to pass? I don't think so. I think it's a no-brainer to sign the document and move on. It's taking up valuable time of this body, and that's a decision. But however, if you've got a monetary value you'd like to put on it, Mr. Neesmith suggested a $25,000. That's our PO range before we have to bid. Whatever you guys want. That's what I will yield to. There is nothing more than I want to do than do it correctly. So when this came to light and we started researching this idea, yeah, there is no TCA code that gives me that authority, even though it's an assumed authority. That's how that is. Executive decision by the county executive.
Anyone else?
Commissioner Huntsman, to your point, though, I would like this body to decide. I think it's too much to ask for a maintenance contract, service agreement, something with low monetary value. However, some of our maintenance agreements, even for the new jail for heat control, you know what I'm saying? Those things can move up pretty quickly. I yield to this body.
Commissioner Richardson?
First Baptist Church, when you pass something like that, it goes through the pastor, then it also has a committee to either agree or not agree every time. They're right there. Is there a possibility we could have the county chairman, every time communicate with the mayor when he passes something like that and ask him his opinion about that? And if he had okay or no okay, would that be a good thing for the county
with a value.
You could do that over the phone, where your agreement there, and maybe that way you say okay or no okay. And would that be something that would be?
It very well, Commissioner Huntsman. I still suggest maybe a value that's on that. How much is that contract worth? And if it's under a certain amount, I think there could be given latitude to the mayor's office. Okay? That's just what I think. Again, I think it's open for discussion here.
Commissioner Richardson?
Some contracts don't even have a monetary value, do they?
That is correct, Mr. Neesmith. That is very correct.
So you got no problem there, accepting, you let you handle it.
Richardson?
I was talking to Chris, I was talking to the mayor, Rodney.
I would ask the finance department to give us an executive summary of the purchasing policy. Real short version. I know there's limitations on, we can't sign contracts that are over a year. We have the purchasing policy has, without commission approval, the purchasing policy also has monetary limits in it. We may have the document relatively in front of us, but nobody's kind of reviewed it on this side. I'd almost put that in the form of a motion, if that's okay with Mr. Taylor.
We could add it. I don't know that the current purchasing policy has any verbiage in it about who can approve a contract. There's verbiage about bidding and different thresholds.
Highway department has theirs. There's a thing in here about the, what we can do with professional contracts, architectural fees and stuff like that, that give leeway. I don't want to put any additional work on you, but it might be something to, I don't know if anybody's read the purchasing policies here in its entirety.
I think you need to take in consideration, I know on leases, if you're leasing anything with the county, a lease that's over a year lease, let's say a 2-year or 3-year, has to come before this commission. I think you need to be real careful because you're going to reach out into the school. If you start talking about these contracts, you may reach out into the school's contracts. I don't know where we are or not, but I think that needs to be cleared up.
Same thing with the highway department, they have their own set of their own finances.
Mr. Doty?
Mr. Chairman, just one more thing. You know, it was brought up about when is the emergency happened, but it's also been discussed in this meeting, something for folks to think about. A few years back, we did take the time and the diligence, and we tried to save some money, and we sent the contract back on the jail to be reevaluated and try to cut the cost some. And it went from 88 million to 95 million in 3 months. That's why there needs to be some form of expeditious actions that can be taken, because you don't know when things are gonna happen. No one dreamed that the housing market and the price of materials was gonna go to the level it did. Even the market analysis said it wouldn't come close to this, but it did. And that's just something to think about as we go forward, because it can happen in the drop of a hat.
Chairman, I have one more comment, please. One thing that does concern me, that we put a policy out there and something very minor slips through the cracks. That concerns me. You know, it can happen, a mistake happened. Well, we're going to face a lawsuit because we missed a contract. It could happen.
I've got one. Commissioner Green? She was next.
Thank you. First of all, city does have their contracts to go through their attorney. Now, some of you will say that's more expense. You voted to pay him by the hour plus his $1,200, if I remember correctly, and no, I didn't vote for that. But in order to protect us, it would not hurt for the attorney to check them. You trust, but you verify. It is just a matter of good common business sense. and we are a long ways from that. Now, folks overstepping has happened several times. Our illustrious past mayor overstepped when he hired the attorney, and the motion was made that to forgive him for what he had done and everything he would do. You can't okay an illegal action, folks. It doesn't work that way, whether it's me or anybody else. But we need eyes that know what they are doing to this, and we need to set limits. Now, if you think it's good just to turn somebody loose, that's fine, but I don't want them turned loose with my money. And I've heard it all week from people in my district, they don't want it either. So we need to be concise. We need to have some questions and answers. But we need a lot more information than what we get on things.
Commissioner Cardin?
Yeah, just generically, I mean, what would it be wrong to have our attorney to draft a checklist of things, so to speak, for us to discuss for what would be going towards any kind of policy similar to the purchasing policy now that would be, it can be, I mean, you can compare Morristown's or Granger, wherever you want to compare it to. If, you know, something's already been written somewhere, right? And maybe we don't have it officially on the books. It's been unofficial for the time it's been around, but related to grants and contracts, and then it could identify income and expenses, and then you could have the mayor, the chairman of the commissioners, and the department head to sign off on it, should the mayor be able to sign it. And then if they feel that it needs to be taken to commission, one or all combination of those could bring it to commission meeting for approval.
Mr. Neesmith?
We've hired the attorney to go over all contracts. I think we should leave it for the attorney to go over all contracts.
He doesn't, though.
If I could, Mr. Chairman, just really quick, I brought up a motion that we should have our county attorney go over all contracts back quite a few months ago, because it's not in our, it's not a normal business practice to go over that, and I couldn't get a second from any person on this body for that to go forward. So
I'm
it
not
is
on
not,
that committee, I'd give you
Not
a
either.
second.
it is not in that our county attorney reviews every contract. I had, like I said, I had made that motion and I didn't even get a second, so no, sir, it is not there that he should do that yet.
Anyone else?
To lead Mr. Doty's point, that was just like the Cherokee Park one that had the indemnify clause in there that should not have been in there to start with. We need legal eyes on things. And if we don't have the attorney that can do the job, get you an attorney that can.
Anyone else?
Again, I will point out again to this commission, postage machine, exterminator. Does that need to come before the body? That's what I'm getting at. If we open this up and every little contract you have is reviewed by our county attorney, that is day-to-day business. That's what, I mean, again, I will yield. This is your call. I'm just suggesting to you to understand that when you say contracts, that opens up a big door.
Unless you go a cap on it, $25. Over 25, you go to the attorney.
Mr. Neesmith, please get recognized by the chairman of the finance committee
I'm looking
before
at
you
him,
speak.
shaking my hand, he don't see me.
Well,
You did, didn't you?
oh, I heard you.
Okay.
So please get recognized before you speak.
Mr. Capps?
May I make a suggestion to the body as a starting point? Mayor Cutshaw makes a valid point about these minimal types of contracts that are recurring, they're revolving. We've already got that contract in place. Where you start, I think you could say these recurrent contracts that are renewing from year to year that we've already approved, well, you take those off of my plate. Now, if you have me in my office review every single contract that this county enters into, I will be doing that every hour I'm in the office, probably. And I don't think you want that either. So, I think if If you get rid of those recurring revolving ones that are monthly, annually, they're renewing, you've already approved them, we're already doing them, that takes a big wad off of the table, I think. When you're entering into a new contract, we gotta be careful that you're not violating Tennessee Code annotated by making a policy that violates the statute. So we need to look at that, and we need to craft, you all need to craft something that does not violate the statute, that gives him latitude and leeway to make the decisions that he really needs to do without bothering every one of the members of this body with it. So how you do that, that's up to you folks. But I think those are considerations that you could think about. Those smaller contracts that are in place that we've been doing for years, that would take a large wad.
Thank you, Mr. Capps. I don't think this committee tonight can vote on anything, any plan that agrees to this without a whole lot more information in front of us. So I would suggest that we gather information before we bring this back, see what other counties are doing, see what the law says. If we're trying to make policy like the attorney says, that would be my suggestion.
Make a motion to table until we have more information.
Have a motion and a second by Mr. Richardson and Ms. Ahern. Any discussion?
Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Green.
to back up what the attorney said, some of the contracts that we have had in the past were not correct. The Cherokee Park contract, just a moment, for the example, we had a Demify in there and we had approved it, I know twice since I've been in here, till they pulled it this last time. Things need to be looked at.
Ms. Green, that's what I just said. We
I
don't
know
need to
what you
do
said,
anything
but to
until
back
we
up-
have people look at it and make recommendations
I understand, but if you
to us.
don't care, let me have my time,
But we're
please.
not going to sit here and try to go over
I'm not trying to go
older
over.
contracts.
Mr. Chairman, let's move on.
I'm not
We
trying to
have
go
a
over.
motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move to 5D, budget amendments. First one is D1 is the Hamblen County Department of Education budget amendment. Number 6, the increase of $47,286. Mr. Ladd.
Good evening. So on this budget amendment, we have two small grants that we're wanting to accept. The Sourcewell Helping Kids mini grant, that's a $3,500 grant. It's a safety grant to help purchase some cameras and such for Union Heights. We also have the Simply Smart grant, a $1,500 grant for Miller Boyd. We're reclassing $5,000 out of our ISM grant over to be able to purchase textbooks for the new barber class. And last, we're wanting to promote 3 teacher assistants to RBTs, Registered Behavior Technicians. As you folks know, we have a lot of behavioral issues in the school. We have 3 individuals who have got their license to be an RBT, and we would like to promote them and use them countywide.
Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Harville. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. D2 is the Hamblen County Department of Education School Nutrition Budget Amendment Number 1, the increase of $600,000. Mr. Ladd.
All right, this is for our school nutrition, all out of fund balance, no impact to the maintenance of effort. The first line item is additional funds for a bookkeeper. The timing of, we had a retiree, she just retired in December, but during the timing of budget last year, we added a bookkeeper. That position was approved, however, we failed to budget for it. So we have determined now that we need to budget that money. The next line item is outside contract repairs. We've had to do some outside services for some of our maintenance. I think we have a new maintenance technician, and he's been overwhelmed and needs some help. $10,000 we'd like to add for additional travel. Increased cost of supplies, we want to add $10,000, primarily ink cartridges. Apparently those have went through the roof. And last but not least, we would like to add $500,000 to equipment. What's driving this is a new serving line at East High School. I think that the cost of that was $1.1 million. We have enough to cover all but $500,000.
Just to clarify, Mr. Ladd, this does not affect our maintenance of effort or anything like that.
Correct.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Mr. Doty. Second by Mr. Harville. Any discussion?
I have one question, if I may, please, sir.
Yes, Ms. Green.
I'm just curious. I know it's not in what he discussed tonight. Do you have a lot more students going in for the meals coming in as far as the early morning and so forth with the economy we're in?
Yes, we have a program through the USDA. All students have breakfast and lunch free.
Okay.
So that has spurred a lot more participation.
Thank you. I was curious. Thank you for the
Any other discussion?
opportunity.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Ladd. Go to D3, Fund 101, the jail of $5,284.78. Ms. Hale?
The budget amendment before you is to recognize a refund that we received from Southern Health Partners for inmate medical drugs and supplies, and this amendment recognizes the revenue and places that money back into that budgeted line item.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Doty. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Ahern. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Go to number 4, Fund 101, the Sheriff's Department of $225.
The Sheriff's Department had an officer that had registered for a class and was sick and unable to attend, and they reimbursed us for that fee, and this is to recognize that revenue and put the money back into the budgeted line item.
Do I have a motion? Motion. Motion by Mr. Walker, second by Mr. Reed. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Go to D5, Fund 101, Sheriff's Department of $10,000.
In May, the commission voted to fund $10,000 from the opioid money to fund the DARE program for the Sheriff's Department. Because it was so close to the end of the fiscal year, the money wasn't budgeted because they wouldn't spend it before then. And so now we are budgeting it. They're purchasing some workbooks and supplies needed for the DARE program. And so this recognizes the money that will be coming in from the opioid fund and placing it into the expense line for their budget.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Harville, is that correct?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Richardson. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Fund number 6, D6, Fund 101, multiple Sheriff's Department accounts of $64,500.
So far this year, the state has given us $64,500 in grant funds for the recruitment and retention grant. And this is to recognize that revenue and offsetting budgeted expense lines.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Richardson, a second by Mr. Huntsman. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Howe?
I hope it's working. Retention and recruitment and all that.
Well, yeah, not really. Yeah, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. D7, Fund 101, Sheriff's Department Special Projects of $1,638,580.07.
So this is in relation to the SROs. And a couple of questions have been asked over the last few months, but when we pass the budget, the SROs normally fall within the Sheriff's Department's budget. But because of the reporting at the end of the year, I've asked county audit, could we break them out into this fund or account called special patrols? And so it's just moving money from the sheriff's department into this account for special patrols. No change in fund balance. It's just shifting the money, salaries, taxes, benefits.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
First by Ms. Ahern, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Doty. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Ms. Green?
Question, is this the one where we kept having an expense at the end, but at the beginning where it was zero every time?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Any
It's
other
a good business
discussion?
practice. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Hale. Number 6 is item of interest, and I hope all of you have a time to look over all those. A lot of valuable information in there. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Chairman Long. We'll move now to the Personnel Committee. I'll call on Chairman Stan Harville.
Call the Personnel Committee to order. Anyone wishing to address the committee, you have 3 minutes. Seeing no one. Number 3, old business, we have none. Number 4, new business, approval of education pay submission. You see that on the next page there. I'll entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Doty, motion. Second, Mr. Walker. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Harville. We'll now move to the Public Service Committee. And I'll call on Chairman Mike Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Call the Public Service Committee to order. Any visitor wishing to address the committee, you have 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll go on. Item 3, old business, there is none. Item 4, new business. 4A, surplus auto for Sheriff's Department. Sheriff, it's a Charger.
It's a 2015 Dodge Charger that's high mileage, got a lot of problems, a lot of motor problems. We're asking to surplus it. We're not gonna fix it.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Ms. Ahern and second by Ms. Howell. Call, any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign. All opposed? None. Motion carries. Item 4B, and C and D. Mr. Keith Eagle, can you come up and talk to us about this?
Good evening. I'm coming before you to request a modification to the reappraisal plan that you all approved last year from a 5-year plan to a 4-year plan. Let me give you a little bit of history when I'm wanting to do this, okay? On a 5-year plan, which you all approved last February and goes into effect this year, Hamblen County has always been a 5-year county. We do a reappraisal every 5 years. During a 5-year plan, you do what they call a ratio study in year 2 and in year 4. What is a ratio study? They look at all the sales over that last 2 years, and they look at the sales, the appraised value on our record cards versus what the sales price was, and they come up with a ratio. For instance, they say we have a house that's a $100,000 house, it sells for $120,000, the ratio is 0.83. Just so you understand that, because that's going to be valuable information going forward here. So they do that in the years 2 and year 4. So what we're requesting to do is go to a 4-year reappraisal plan with a CVU in year 2, which would do away with the ratio study. And that's been requested from the Comptroller's Office to the Assessor Association and the Mayor's Association. So that's what you'll see in your packet is a new reappraisal plan. And we will start that this year with a full-blown reappraisal in 2029. In your packet, you have a spreadsheet. If you look at that now, that will explain why I want to change, okay? Now this is history going from 20 to 25. Have you all found it? It says Hamblen County lost revenue due to reappraisal ratio at the top.
Keith, I don't think they have that sheet.
Oh, they don't have
They
that?
just have the plan. I can get that sheet to them that shows that lost revenue.
Okay, let me give you an example, and I'll go off what I have here. When they done the ratio study in year 2022, the ratio came out to 0.7751. That percentage gets applied to all personal property in the county. So they reduce the value of personal property that's in these facilities, manufacturing, commercial buildings, any kind of business, okay? The bottom line is it cost us $977,000 lost revenue when they applied that in 2022. Big dollars. In 2023, the ratio stayed the same at 0.7751. That year, we lost $1,143,000 in lost revenue. Then they done a next ratio study in 2024, and that ratio came out to 0.6248. At that point, that year, we lost $2,036,000 lost revenue. So that affects our budget process, it affects the taxpayers, everybody. So what we're trying to do is get away from that ratio study, and we don't have to worry about this lost revenue going forward. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Any questions? You got one, I can see it in your eyes.
Explain what that taxed exactly. Like in a factory, did that tax the equipment in the factory, or? Yes,
the same thing. Let's take Molly, for instance. All the machinery they have in there, tow motors, everything like that. So if say that they have $10 million, when that ratio hits, it goes down to 7.5 million in 22. So that's all they pay taxes on. They don't pay on the 10 million. So, and that goes across all industries, J-Tech, Howmet, PFG, anybody, it gets that associated with it.
Even though they may have updated the equipment?
They may have bought more equipment that year, and that might offset some of this, and some of the homes that we pick up offset some of this revenue loss. But to cover $977,000, if you pick up a $350,000 house, I gotta pick up about 725 new homes that year to offset that. We're not picking up that many.
That'd be like, Molly, for instance, got all these old dyes that's been in there for years, we're still paying tax on them?
Yes, but a lot of that stuff's non-standard.
Yeah.
Way it's looked at, so it's already reduced down to very little dollar amounts. It's the more of the high dollar stuff that you're actually losing money on.
I know, I remember Molly coming before the Board of Equalization when I was on it, trying to get away from having to pay tax on all them dyes they had to keep for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Ms. Green?
Mr. Eagley, out of curiosity, does your IRS class of property affect that in any way, or just your ratio?
What now, I'm sorry?
Does your IRS class of property affect that in any way?
No.
So
no.
it's just your
All
ratio?
All personal property is taxed at a 30% assessment
Okay.
rate.
I realize that by my statement, but out of curiosity, so if they drop the ratio, and I didn't understand how you got that, so thank you for the explanation. So if they drop the ratio, we automatically get less money. Am I understanding it correctly?
That's correct.
So if we go to this new system that you're talking about,
Well, it's not a new system, we just a quicker reappraisal cycle with a indexing or a CVU in year 2. But yes, it does do away with the ratio. And that's what the comptroller's pushing all counties across the state of Tennessee. There was about 82 counties out of 95 that was on a 5-year plan. It's down to 60 now, so some of them's already implemented this. So we didn't do it last year because we was in reappraisal. So now we're...
okay, but folks would pay more. Like mine's at 30% now, so mine would probably be more next year for the personal property for the
It
business
wouldn't
assets?
change if it stayed at the old standard, it wouldn't change next year, it'd be in year 2,
Okay.
so 2027.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Stephen? Okay, so there's no action to be taken on A, that's just an explanation.
That's the explanation.
And item B, 4B, is new, a 4-year reappraisal plan with indexing in 2 years, so to the CV. Okay.
That's
So
correct.
this is something that's been talked about for more than just a year or two? Through the auditor, or through the set?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but it's really just got a lot of traction just in the last year.
All right. So do we have a motion on 4B?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Ahern, we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Harville. Any more discussion?
Okay, if I may,
Okay?
this should also help with the reappraisal of personal property as well, not have such a shock like we had last year with the appraisal, correct? It'll kind of keep up with those prices of
Well,
homes
it'd
better.
also be easier on the taxpayer. What we found out, what we heard a lot is, why are you doing this now, hit me all this much in 1 year?
Right.
Over a 5-year period, because we do every 5 years. Now, it's going to be closer, okay?
Right, and that's what
2
I'm
year,
driving, that's what I'm
4
driving
year,
at.
Every
yeah.
2 years they'll see it, and it won't be a shock to them as much.
Right.
Okay. All right, let's vote here.
I've got one more question,
Okay.
because he brought something up, and I'm just curious. I've heard all week, I'm thinking personal property tax, not property, correct?
Well, they can apply what we've seen in this past year, tax reps have went after us on real property also by using this ratio.
Okay.
Not that many yet. And it's never been a big deal on real property because we have never seen anything we've saw in the last 5 years on property values, what they've done,
Oh, the
okay?
reason-
Over a 5-year period, you've seen 15, 18% increase, not 100%.
Well, now, I've heard all week double, okay? That's why I asked. And I caught it at church Sunday as well. They came in and told me, said, mine doubled. And I was talking to somebody setting appointments, and she said, mine doubled, so I was curious.
Depends where you live in the county, some more than double.
Well, that's,
And then
yeah.
some went less than double. It just depends on the area. That's what we look at. We break it down in the areas of the county.
Thank you.
Okay, can we do a roll call vote on this, please?
Sure. Hold on, please.
Just be on the committee, you know, those roll call.
Yes, on committee members.
So for 4B, correct?
4B, please.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Yes.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 4C is a resolution 26 resolution authorizing the continuous 4-year reappraisal cycle. And that's what we did last time. We just had a resolution, so call for a vote on that as well. Can we do a roll call vote on it, please? Oh, I guess we need a motion and a second.
I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Long,
Second.
second by Mr. Harville. Any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Yes.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 4D is a memo of understanding between Hamblen County and the Division of Property Assessments, State of Tennessee. And I'll call for a motion on that.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Harville, second by Mr. Walker. Any discussion? Let's call for the vote on that as well, please.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Yes.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion carries. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Richardson. Let's move now to the Calendar and Rules Committee, and I'll call on Chairman Thomas Doty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I call the Calendar and Rules Committee meeting to order. Do we have anyone, any visitors wishing to address this committee about agenda items only? You may speak now, you'll have 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move forward. Item 3A, old business, there is none. Item 4A, under new business, we have the review of the regular calendar items. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
From Mr. Horner. Do I have a second? Second from Ms. Howe, thank you. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, call for the vote. All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B is review of the consent calendar items. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Ahern. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Horner. Thank you, sir. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Items of interest, we have none. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Doty. That concludes our business for this evening. Commissioners, do not forget that if you want to look at Ms. Starnes' lovely note, it'll be laying up here. Also, a reminder on the January 20th at 6:30 at Water State Community College. The Chamber of Commerce will have their annual meeting and dinner. I think everybody got a memo on that, so follow that up if you will. Yeah, okay, let Tish know. Trish. I'm sorry, God. I just met you today. All right, gentlemen, ladies, have a safe journey.
Chairman Hahn, before you dismiss, quick question. Where are we at on putting all the rules and regulations together that former Mayor Britton had the intern doing? And last time I asked you, told me Miss Trish was working on it. So where are we at on that?
It's still in a body and work.
It's still not complete, in other words.
Of course not, no.
Any foreseeable future what might be ready?
No.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Chairman Hahn, she has had to stop work on that with many other duties. Now, again, this is an open-ended thing. If you want to research, I suggest that this commission take up the idea that we hire a contractor to go back and evaluate. What you're asking for is basically, it can't be done. It goes back years and years. There's going to be some obscure rule that'll be missed. And if we don't get it in there, guess what? The county is sued. Therefore, I think you hire a contractor to come in and evaluate this. Also, that's one thing, but the other thing is public records request. Over the past 2 years, one person, one group, over 100 public records requests, and the state of Tennessee considers 5 as being enough. We've had over 100. I think it's time that this commission take a person up and put them in public records. The sheriff's department deals with it every day, having to take time away from regular duties. Think about it. Over 100 public records requests that they have to take up, research, and guess what? If we miss a fine item in that, guess what? We're sued. It's egregious. We need to consider, this body needs to consider hiring somebody or a contractor to take these things up. We're at a breaking point basically of handling day-to-day expenses in the office and do our job. I'm asking, it doesn't have to be done today, but I put the thought in your mind. That too, by the way, public records requests are public record. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We stand adjourned. Oh, real country sauce.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's,
Petition. I know what I was thinking. I know what it was.